So picture this, it's Friday night, you've got a couple bucks in your pocket, and you roll into the local video store to grab a movie for the weekend. The lights are bright, the shelves are packed with colorful cases, and you're debating between the new release or that hidden gem you've been meaning to check out. That feeling? That was Hollywood Video. For a hot minute in the 90s and early 2000s, this chain was everywhere, going toe-to-toe with Blockbuster and carving out its own loyal fan base. But like so many other rental giants, it got steamrolled by the rise of streaming and convenience. So today, we're looking back into Hollywood Video, the scrappy underdog that gave us 5-day rentals, killer game sections, and some of the best Friday night memories of the pre-Netflix era. So, grab a snack, get comfy, and let's dive into the history of Hollywood Video. Hollywood Video started in 1988 when a guy named Mark Waddles decided the video rental game needed a shakeup. Waddles had already opened a small store called Home Theater back in 1985 after realizing how much people loved using their new VCRs, but they hated the high prices of buying tapes outright. So he saw the potential for a bigger, cleaner, better stocked superstore and founded Hollywood Entertainment. He started opening locations that were way more inviting than the typical mom and pop shops at the time. They weren't tiny, dusty corners. We're talking 7,500 square feet packed with thousands of titles, bright lighting, and that unmistakable plastic and popcorn smell that just screamed weekend vibes. By 1993, the company went public and Waddles poured everything into aggressive expansion. They bought up smaller chains like Video Watch and Video Central. They opened stores left and right, and by the mid-90s, they were one of the fastest growing rental companies in the country. At its peak, Hollywood Video had over 2,000 stores and was pulling in serious revenue. And for a while, it seemed like it was going to keep climbing forever.
We don't feel threatened. We know we provide great customer service. We don't really have that much competition, however. We just have a family video store down the street. And we had a Giant Eagle, but they went out of business, however. We're getting a lot of their customers.
But no matter how fast they grew, Hollywood Video was always playing Lil Bro to Blockbuster.
But get real, you'd rather be playing video games. You can rent them from Blockbuster.
The true undisputed king of the rental world. But we all know that already. Blockbuster had thousands of more stores, a massive marketing team, and that blue and yellow branding that was everywhere. Hollywood Video was the cool younger sibling. They had urban locations, a reputation for better selections in some markets, and a more laid-back vibe. But they were still chasing the giant. They tried to differentiate themselves with the 5-day rentals. Instead of the usual 2 or 3, they had a much larger video game section than most rental stores, and they had a strong focus on customer service. A lot of people actually preferred Hollywood Video over Blockbuster because it felt less corporate and more like a neighborhood chill spot. But Blockbuster's sheer size and name recognition kept them on top. Hollywood Video was forever the other big chain, respected and loved by regulars, but never quite able to dethrone the big blue giant. While Hollywood Video and Blockbuster were duking it out in the early 2000s, a couple of new players started chipping away at the whole rental model. First, Netflix. Back when they were still a DVD by mail service, they offered something Hollywood and Blockbuster couldn't: no late fees, unlimited rentals for a flat monthly price, and movies delivered straight to your door. It was a little slower than walking into a store, but it was a lot more convenient for people. Then Redbox showed up with those bright red kiosks outside every grocery store, pharmacy, and fast food joint. You could grab a movie while picking up milk or getting dinner, rent it cheap for $1 or $2, and then drop it off at any other kiosk. There was no store, no lines, no hassle. And both of these ideas started eating into foot traffic at these big chains. Hollywood Video tried to fight back by expanding their game sections and adding online options, but the writing was already on the wall. And by the late 2000s, the real killer showed up: streaming services. Netflix flipped the switch from DVDs to on-demand streaming, and suddenly you didn't even have to leave the couch. Hulu, Amazon, and eventually Disney Plus piled on, and physical rentals started feeling like ancient history. People stopped going to the stores when they could watch whatever they wanted instantly. Hollywood Video's parent company, Movie Gallery, was already struggling under massive debt since around 2005. They had filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in 2007, leaving hundreds of stores closed while they tried to restructure, But the shift to streaming was way too fast and too brutal, and by 2010, they filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy and began liquidating everything. The last Hollywood video stores closed their doors that summer, and it all just felt like it happened so quick. One day you were in there browsing the aisles on a Friday night, and the next one it was just gone for good. And I mean, I actually remember this happening. I was about 9 years old when this happened, and I remember my dad getting a phone call from my uncle, and I could just hear him yelling over the phone like, "Dude, you gotta get down here, everything's like 90% off." Just different times, man. Looking back, Hollywood Video wasn't just another rental chain. It was a whole vibe. It was the smell of fresh plastic cases, the thrill of spotting a new release on the wall, and the debates with your friends over what to rent. And you can't forget that satisfying clunk when you drop off the tape in the return box. For a lot of us, it was the soundtrack to countless weekends, sleepovers, and lazy days when you call out of work. Sure, it got crushed by streaming and convenience, but it left behind a ton of fond memories and a reminder of a time when entertainment still felt like a little adventure. In today's world of endless scrolling and algorithm recommendations, there's something kind of special about remembering when you had to actually go somewhere and pick something out for yourself. Hey, so Saskia from the future here. Apparently my footage cut off right there. And well, that was pretty much the rest of the video anyway. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and anything special. This is how you look at it.
Woke up, made a bag today. Oh my god, what can I say? Get the fuck out of my face. I cannot deal with that bullshit today. Yes, you are a saddle, yes, you are a sack. Yes, I did not make a mistake when I came from that case. I am not scared, I would say that shit right to your face. Do not have a home, can I feel safe? Oh my god, what can I say? Oh my god, woke up today. Oh my god, life.